It is no secret there's a big issue in Forza Motorsport 7 when it comes to ramming and just the lack of clean racing that you can find. People spend their time in the endurance hopper, but even then there is a lot of issues. And I personally spend all of my time in leagues. I find the cleanest racing in leagues if you can get to a higher band. And even there still can be some issues. We've all wanted some sort of penalty system to keep drivers driving fairly and driving well and avoiding collisions. And it seemed like they were just ignoring us until less than 48 hours ago, where Inside Xbox had an interview with the Forza community manager, Brian Eckberg, and they said some amazing things that are really interesting, probably the most interesting news we have had since the release of Forza Motorsport 7. Now, there's a bunch coming in this new update, and we're going to go over everything, but the most important thing, what Brian said was the big focus of the coming updates to Forza Motorsport was fixing the online hoppers. They're going to be putting in place a new race regulation system that should be something like what we're seeing on Gran Turismo Sport already. So this is exciting news because, as we all know, I mean, this is a big issue, and if they can fix this and maybe even, who knows, do it better than GT Sport, this could be huge for the game. Now, they only elaborated on one aspect of the system, and that's the new revised track limits. Now, we can assume, based on footage that we have seen, that going outside the track limits is going to finally result in some sort of penalty. It's not for sure, but I think it's a pretty damn good chance, considering we do see video footage of them implementing some sort of penalty system. The only thing they have elaborated on is those track limits. They have completely revised them. They've actually hand-drawn all the track limits, because I noticed personally, if you guys did that One Rivals event recently in the F1 car for the Forza RC event, the track limits were completely undistinguishable by your eyes. I mean, it was really hard to put down a fast lap, and you didn't really have a good concept of what was cutting and what wasn't. In fact, sometimes you would smash right through tires and your lap would still be clean. It made no sense at all. So it's really good to see that they are going to be hand drawing all the track limits and cleaning them all up. And this new penalty system, as we see here, the Pagani in a collision, we're seeing them actually acknowledge the collision, where it happened, and showing penalty information in the top left corner. So again, they haven't elaborated on that, but I definitely think we'll hear more about some sort of penalty system in the future. I definitely think that's going to help the game and make it more competitive and enjoyable. Next up is a game mode people really loved from Forza Motorsport 6, and that's Time Attack. Brian has stated clearly that Time Attack is returning to Forza Motorsport and to Forza 7, so that's very exciting. And if for some reason you don't know what Time Attack is, I guess essentially you can think of it as like Rivals, except now you can choose your car, you can choose your class, and you can choose your track all freely with no restrictions like you get over at Rivals, and you will still have those leaderboards. And that's what's so exciting about time trials, is just moving up the leaderboards and trying to get as close to the top as you can. And if you're really good, maybe trying to get to the top. But definitely excited to have that come back. And again, it seems like overall they're trying to push the game into a more professional, competitive type game, which is where they should go. I mean, Forza Horizon is where the fun is to be had, and Forza Motorsport is where we get serious. Overall, it's been good news throughout this interview. For any of you who really like drag racing, you would have experienced an issue, which was you finish a short drag race that only takes you 11 seconds, and then you have to leave the race, collect your rewards, collect your XP, look at the leaderboards, all this stuff, and then join a new race after that. And it just wasn't worth it to race drag racing because it just took way too long. They are working on implementing a new drag system. They're calling it experimental drag right now because it's experimental. It's only going to be in free mode. You're not going to be able to use this online yet because they're experimenting with it, but you can expect some nice animations before your drag race, as well as being able to do a burnout before you actually go to do your run, to make it a little bit more realistic, make it a little more interesting. One thing I noticed on the video, after they did the burnout, their tires were still cold. Now the system is still in development, but I would hope that that burnout will actually present a new aspect of the game, doing the burnout for the proper time to get your tires to the proper temperature. That would be very interesting. I hope it's not just a gimmick. We've got the Christmas tree lights to tell you when to go. I mean, they really tried to make it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more engaging, which is always fun. I'm not huge on drag racing, but if you guys are, I'm sure you will enjoy this. Now for drift, again, I'm not big on drifting. I really like it, but I just haven't really got into that aspect of motorsport yet. But there has been some issues I've heard with the all-wheel drive cars having a big advantage over rear-wheel drive. Now, they actually were very vague. They didn't specify anything, but I'm sure they are going to acknowledge this issue because they have stated that they are going to be implementing new steering angle options as well as a new scoring model. So those steering angle options and scoring model hopefully are going to fix the issue with rear-wheel drive competing with all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive being at that severe disadvantage. One interesting thing for you guys, if you haven't purchased the car pass or the ultimate edition, Brian has stated there's going to be at least 2 more free cars in coming DLC. At least 2, because he said cars plural. There's going to be more free cars, but who knows, there could be more than 2, but there's definitely going to be 2, and that's always exciting me. Who knows what they are? It's a complete mystery right now. Just gets me excited thinking about it. I love new DLC cars. It's always fun to get. He said for people who want the Hoonigan car packs still, that is going to become available in the coming months. Now, I don't know if he's including that when he says there's 2 car packs coming. There's 2 more car packs on the way. I hope not, so I hope we can look forward to 2 completely new car packs, as well as gaining accessibility to the Hoonigan car pack. But I feel like the chances are it's just going to be 1 new car pack and that Hoonigan becoming available to everyone. He did actually go as far as to state that the Hoonigan car pack will become available to all users, of course, if you pay for it in June. Before I touch on the last aspect, before I touch on the last thing that we need to go over, let me just say I am deathly afraid of heights. And if you guys want to see my vlog from yesterday, I went on the 6th tallest roller coaster in the world, and my reaction was completely organic. Like, I did not fake what you guys are about to see. Just click up in the top corner if you want to see it. I know you guys will get a kick out of it. The last point I wanted to go over is that Brian actually did not say anything about expansions in Forza Motorsport 7. Now, they could just be keeping them a surprise. It's very weird that we haven't had any sort of expansion come out yet. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Do you guys think we're still getting the expansions? What do you guys think is going on with them? And if you haven't seen my video on what I believe the expansions could be if they come, definitely check that out. I will link it down in the description. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, your pain is your strength. I hope to see you on stream very, very soon.